Welcome to Almost Agreeable.
Almost Agreeable.
With your hosts, Chris Nellison and Ed Harris. Hang around and listen to opinions on sports, movies, music, and whatever else pops in our head.
All right, and welcome back to yet another episode of the Almost Agreeable podcast.
Very good.
Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Chris. With me, as always, is
Ed and another guest.
We have another guest. We have Dave with us tonight to talk about some sports stuff. We have a lot going on, right? We have, I guess, very nice. I like that. It's don't even be ashamed. That's good. We like to drink while we're doing this.
Classy.
So we have, uncharacteristically, we have NBA playoffs happening with NFL Week 1.
Right? How weird does that feel?
It feels very weird.
It feels strange. Like, I'm in a different, mindset. It's just, because I've been putting on the games, and I'm just like, what, But isn't it so strange how it feels right now? Like, we're watching playoff basketball with Week 1 of the NFL. It doesn't feel right. Like, I'm putting on basketball, and then I'm flipping to football. Like, that doesn't make sense.
No, it really hurt my feelings because yesterday was Week 1 of the NFL Sunday, and I'm watching all this football, but also there is Game 6 of the Western semis. It's a big Game 6. Denver forced a Game 7, but, no one fucking knew.
It was overshadowed so much. I mean, it's even overshadowed more. Like, the Clippers were up 3-1.
Mm-hmm.
And then Week 1 of NFL comes by and it's like, oh yeah, whatever, they're going to go to a Game 7, who cares? What's my quarterback doing?
No, I legit talked to some boys of mine. I was like, hey, yeah, this happened, NFL, this happened. But also, did anyone see that the fucking Nuggets forced a Game 7? That's what we're going to get to today. So, we're going to talk about the NBA playoffs right now. We're going to start with that, and then we're going to get into fucking Week 1, because I know everyone wants to fucking talk about Week 1. I know I do. But let's get into the playoffs real quick. Okay, so Nuggets forced a Game 7 against the Clippers. So I feel like coming into that series, who's the unanimous winner of that series?
There's no unanimous. I mean, going into Game 7...
No, I'm not even saying Game 7. I'm saying the series.
Going into that series, nobody thought... Honestly, I didn't even think it was going to be the Nuggets.
No, it was probably going to be the fucking Jazz.
I thought it was going to be the Jazz. Number 2, I wouldn't think it would go to a Game 7 because the Clippers should have just handled business. They should have just taken care of it.
They really do have so much talent. And what's funny is, we're talking, you and I are, Ed, and, Dave's over here, waving his hand at us. What the fuck? What's going on over there? What are you fucking saying, buddy?
I have a different perspective on how the playoffs went. It was the thing with the Lakers, it was...
No, we're not talking about Lakers. We're talking about Clippers right now.
Let's
chill. The Clippers are expected to do what they're supposed to do because of the talent you guys speak of, right?
They do have
teammates
talent.
They have
talent on that fucking roster.
But the reason I have to bring the Lakers up in the situation, even though we're talking about the Clippers, is the chemistry, and I don't think it's there. I think we're talking about a team that has all these pieces, but they only played together 12 games in the regular season. We played a lot of regular season games before the pandemic happened. And we saw some proof of, obviously not enough time together. And we seen it in the bubble. They're not playing together. And it's they're squandering leads and no one's talking. And it's that's one thing I think that is a disadvantage to them. And the one other point is why I was shaking my head is because... y'all just discounting Denver. It's no, dude. Denver should have swept the Jazz. I'll say it again. They should have swept the Jazz.
They were down 3-1 in that series.
They should never have been, is what I'm saying. They got themselves in trouble, just like they got themselves in trouble against the Clippers. I think that Denver is the better team. I always thought they were. And I think that, like you guys were talking about, you don't know who's going to win Game 7.
Well, that's the beauty of a Game 7. Any Game 7. Doesn't matter who the fuck is playing. Game 7s.
If it goes to Game 7, clearly it's relatively evenly matched. So you have no idea what's going to happen. I'm still. It's not like I'm pulling for the Clippers. I still think they're the team that they can be more clutch. That's what it comes down to. Like, yeah, they don't have that chemistry that you're talking about, but when it comes down to it, I think they're the team that
have
can
more clutch
be
players.
More clutch.
They have more clutch players, and like I can agree with Dave on that to the point where like because everyone that's listening to this knows that I'm a born and raised Laker fan, okay, and coming into this fucking bubble, the playoff bubble, I was on record saying that I don't think the Lakers can beat the Clippers. Yeah. I said that. This is me, Christopher Nelson, Laker fan, can't beat the Clippers, but after seeing what's been happening in this bubble, I really do feel like what Dave said is true. Clippers have more talent. Lakers have more chemistry. They really play well together. The Clippers are still trying to figure it out because it comes down to their players that they're going to go with never played together very often. During the regular season, during the bubble, they didn't. They didn't play together very often. So it's like, how are they gonna know like what the fuck, you know, who's doing what that fucking Lakers like were able to change their fucking lineup for the Rocket series to be like, oh, we need to go small, throw Markieff Morris in there.
Okay, yeah, sure, they changed around their lineup for the Rocket series, but like, don't act like they had to like scheme to win against the Rockets. Like, they dropped game 1, a big oopsie, and then they're just like, oh yeah, we're just a better fucking team. And then they won. It's not like he did some coaching miracle or like he did anything fantastic. They shouldn't have lost the first game, and they should have dominated how they did the next 4.
That is such bullshit, Ed. That is such bullshit. Because if you watch the games, because who's on the Rockets? Who's the biggest talents on the Rockets? Name them right now.
Harden, Westbrook, Tucker.
Harden, Westbrook, Tucker. The Laker defense in that series was amazing. Amazing. Okay, they fucking played lockdown. They adjusted their scheme to double fucking Harden off the ball and on the ball. It was their defense. They made it, and that's I think that's the biggest difference with the Lakers as far as the bubble goes, is that their defense has been the best in the bubble so far. It really has. Their defensive adjustments. It's been amazing.
It wasn't at first, I don't think, but it had to be, because I think the thing with the Lakers, you know, was obviously with any team in the bubble, besides the Lakers, who knew they were number 1, was fighting for a spot, just to try to earn respect and try to get in there. And I think everyone played hard, and Lakers were just trying to figure out the chemistry, figure out like what they had before the break happened, and that's what it was. And I mean, if you look in the behind, like Rondo was playing before he got hurt, and he was playing great. We were beating everyone, and when we went out, I think it was rust. And now that the rust is off, I think people are in trouble. And I'm not saying that because me and Christopher are Laker fans. I just think that, like, LeBron and AD are going to keep the game close. And if we can get the other dudes to play together like we were in the regular season, it's over. Because, like Christopher said, our defense, Frank Vogel has a scheme that's going on that he can adjust the defense. Let's face it, in game 1s of both series, Blazers kicked our butt. Rockets kicked our butt. They were just... But did we make adjustments or did we not?
You're scoping them.
Right?
You're scoping them.
No,
so
I actually got hit up. I was like, people would ask me, like, what the fuck happened in game 1? I was like, honestly, I think we were scoping because we were playing very bad in both of those game 1s. And we barely lost both of them.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, yeah, like the Lakers, the games that they have lost this postseason so far, they have absolutely 100% shit the bed. Just completely have been missing, just playing bad defense, having some bad calls, and just not hitting shots. Everything is going wrong, and that's when you're losing, okay? So, we have a game 7 tomorrow. Who do you think is coming out of that? And I guess, who would you want to see the Lakers play?
I'd rather, honestly, like, to me, like, I'd rather see the Nuggets, like, because I'm still on record a couple weeks ago saying I don't want to see the Clippers. Like, we have matchup problems against them. We do. Like, that's the thing about any sport, is that, like, it's all about how you match up with the opposing team.
Yep.
We have matchup problems with the fucking Clippers. So, do I think we can beat them in a 7-game series? I actually, at this point, the way we're playing, I think we can. But I'd rather see the fucking Nuggets because we match up better against them. The Lakers could beat the Clippers in 7, but I think we can win the series against Denver in 6. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so that's what you would rather see. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow, Dave?
What do I think is going to happen? I think the Clippers are going to come out and beat them by 20. And then the Clippers know what's at stake. They know what they signed up for.
And it's Kawhi.
Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are going to talk it over and be like, look, dudes, I didn't come here unless they said you were going to come here. And they're going to talk it over. They're going to win Game 7. And we're going to do... See, there's a certain analyst, I'm not going to name his name. He's kind of a hater on the Lakers, but he's a LeBron lover. And we kind of see eye to eye here. We want to see the best teams. We saw the Blazers, we saw Dame and CJ, and we put them down. We saw James and Russ, we put them down. Bring the Clippers. I want to beat every team. You know what I mean? I want the challenge because I honestly think that LeBron James is still the best player in the league. I think he's the MVP of the league, and I think that he makes so much more of a difference than Kawhi Leonard can make on any team. That just for that, and the reason because we have AD. Let's just throw that cheat code in there. Let's throw the cheat code. But like, just LeBron James makes the Lakers tick, and we have a cheat code, and his name is AD.
He's also been playing better defense with this squad than he has in a lot of the years that he's been playing. And let's be real about it. Like, he hasn't had to play defense like on the teams he's been on in the past, besides maybe those Cavalier teams, because like they had nobody. But also like because AD is a defensive player of the year candidate, because we had Avery Bradley, because we have these defensive fucking players, like LeBron has bought into it. Frank Vogel has done a great job making sure that LeBron has bought into this defensive scheme. And so, like, I've actually seen LeBron, like, in these playoffs specifically, play fucking amazing defense. Like, when it comes to rotations, closing out. Obviously we know his history with chase down blocks. But, like, he's, like, been defending on the ball. And it's wild to me because, and David can attest, is that, like, we're Kobe boys. We're Kobe guys. Like, we're Laker fans from our birth. So, like, we hated LeBron. Like, I'm not going to front. I hated LeBron. I hated him. When he wasn't a Laker, fuck that dude. Like, I hated him. Now he's a Laker, and I can honestly say, maybe, I don't think even Ed can attest, I fucking will say, like, yeah, LeBron's doing good, but, like, I'm not sold. I'm not sold. I can't love LeBron yet, like, until he wins a title. I can't do it.
All right. Chill. So so this is the matchup that was always meant to be from the beginning of the year.
Lakers Clippers.
This is what was
shout out to Manny.
Yes. So this is what everybody. I mean, this may not happen though. Like I'm saying this, but this is what I expect to happen. I agree that I think the Clippers are going to come out and just not stomp them, but I think the Clippers are going to win, and then it's going to be the Western Finals that was meant to be. So looking at the Eastern Finals. Was this what you expected
Not at all? No way. I saw the Celtics Bucks. That's what I saw.
This was not what I saw at all. I mean, well, the Celtics they I mean, what? This is like the third time they've been in the Eastern Conference Finals, or like 3 times the last 4 years or something. Like they've been there a decent amount.
Well, I think I can say that like a couple weeks ago we were talking about it, and I told you like Celtics are my dark horse. Like I said that. I said I think Celtics can do it. And so here they are now in the Eastern Conference Finals, like with the Heat. Someone was like, what do you think is going to happen? And I was like, no, look, like, I have no idea. No one knew Miami was going to come out this hot. Like, no one knew Miami was going to do this good. I, in my head, knew it could do it. Like, with their route to the Eastern Conference Finals, like, that was, I could have called that. But, like, against the Heat, I have no idea. This is going to be a really good series. It's going to be a great series.
It's going to be scrappy, but not in like that traditional sense. It's not. I don't think it's gonna be like a crazy physical game, but it's just gonna be back and forth. It's gonna be a very aggressive series.
I think it's gonna. I'm sorry that I was shaking my head so emphatically over here. I was shaking the mic up, but I just disagree with what you were saying, Christopher. If they had my boy from the Utah Jazz, remind me of his name.
Gordon Hayward.
Because he hasn't played in a while, I forgot his name. Just kidding. Gordon Hayward. If they had Gordon Hayward, it's a different game because they could play small against anybody and they could play talented. But if they don't have that missing piece, I don't know. I think Jimmy Butler and the physicality, like Ed was saying, it's gonna be a physical series. It's gonna be chippy. But have you seen the players on the Miami? Jimmy Butler, Kelly Olynyk,
Goran Dragic.
Those are some chippy players. No,
Tyler
Hero.
Dude. But these dudes, they're here to play. They're not here to play some screen pass, 3-point. They're gonna play old school basketball. They're gonna drive. They're gonna rebound. They got Andre Iguodala. They got what's the old school guy on their teams that has them, coaching them. He's the assistant coach player. He doesn't play, but he coaches them. Dude, I'm telling you right now, I'm calling a Miami in 6.
Do they feel a little...
Miami in 6?
Miami in 6.
Do they feel a little like the Pistons? Like the bad boy Pistons? Of course, they're never going to be
I wouldn't even say the bad boy Pistons. I would say the 2004 Pistons.
I would say they're the physicality. Yeah,
okay,
I'm with you, Ed.
They kind of feel like that where they're just the underdog and we're just fuck it. We know that everybody expects us to lose. Everybody's been downing us the entire way. Now we're in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well,
let's see.
I'm going to stick with what I said, with 2004 Pistons, because if I think about 88, 87 Pistons, I can't do that because the NBA is so different now. The way you play the game, the way calls are made, the way fucking you can get away with it.
Of course.
That's why I'm going to stick with 2004 Pistons.
The spirit of the game.
The spirit, yeah.
It feels like that.
But what's one of the players on the Celtics that makes you think that the Celtics have a chance? Is it Tatum? Is it Brown?
It's Kemba Walker.
Is he the X factor?
For that series?
I think so.
Yes.
I think
yes.
Tatum and Brown are
yes.
great.
Yes.
You think he's a better addition than Kawhi was because he's a better team player?
No, you're talking about fucking, what's his stupid name? I hate him.
Why?
Point guard.
Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Did you not see what I
Kyrie
fucking... just so everyone knows, if you don't know, as soon as fucking Steve Nash was hired as head coach, I posted some shit on fucking my social media about he was going to ruin his relationship with Steve Nash because he's such a piece of shit. Kyrie Irving. He really is. That's why I think Kemba's the difference. Kemba is not a piece of shit. He's not selfish. He fucking can play the game. He knows he has teammates. He knows he has Jaylen Brown. He knows he has Marcus Smart. He knows how to move the ball.
Marcus Smart, what a player, right?
Oh
what
my God.
dude you would on your team,
Here's
right?
what I'm saying. And I hate to say it, and I said it last week, I think, or not last week, but when we were talking about NBA last time, I was like, I don't like to speak good about the Celtics. I really don't. I fucking hate them. Dave, you know, to a personal level, Ed, you know because you're my boy. But I fucking hate them. But I really did call these guys to fucking go this far. I did. I saw it because of those 3 players. And their coaching.
Well, Brown's underrated too.
Their coach, they have a great coach.
Brad Stevens.
They have a great coach. And so that's why I can't even give it to the Heat. I really can't.
All right, cool. Call the series. I called Lakers in 6. Ed, what do you got?
So what are you saying? What are you calling them?
I'm calling
Heat
Celtics.
in 6.
I'm calling Celtics in 6.
Celtics in 6?
Celtics in
Heat
6.
in 6.
I'm saying Celtics in 7.
Ooh, another game 7. There's so many game 7s in this fucking playoffs right now.
All right, I think the physicality, Jimmy Butler, the attitude, and they're underrated offensively. I think the Heat win in 6 games. I think they win the first 2, lose the next 2, and then it's a battle until the 6th game. And I think Heat take it.
All right,
let's move on.
All right, so now we're gonna get to what everyone's been waiting for. I feel like I don't know how NBA is happening, but it's not like it's out of season. So let's talk about week 1 right now. So I want to start with the teams that we give a shit about, in our hearts.
Oh, I was gonna say we can just start with the first game because it makes it pretty easy.
Oh, you're talking about Thursday night?
Yeah, Chiefs and Texans.
That is really easy.
It's a game that happened. We have an MVP, Super Bowl winning quarterback Patrick Mahomes coming out and being Patrick Mahomes, and we have Deshaun Watson coming out. He's now the second highest paid quarterback in the league and not really living up to that.
Did anyone see that happening? Did anyone see the Chiefs blowing out the Texans?
I saw the Chiefs winning.
I saw the Chiefs winning too, but
absolutely.
did we
As soon as they traded DeAndre Hopkins, I did.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just he came out, and the problem Deshaun Watson has, and we've talked about, is that he holds on to the ball. He doesn't know when to get rid of it. He tries to make plays out of things that aren't there when you could just get rid of it.
No, that's real. Ed and I watched the game, and the entire time we were watching it, we were like, okay, like, maybe we don't see what he's seeing as far as getting, like, throwing the ball downfield, like, to a receiver. But also, like, he really does hold on it too long. Like, he could throw it away. Like he's running around back there, and I think the quarterbacks come to mind is like Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers. Like, they're holding on to it. They're like out of pocket passers, and like, but they know, like, I gotta throw it to this guy or I gotta get fucking rid of it. Or Deshaun Watson, not a thing. Like, he doesn't fucking do that.
He has come out, and when he came out, he was an electric player, and then he got hurt. And so the entire time that he has been in the NFL, I think he's been a B+ quarterback, and he hasn't improved. I don't think he's learned. I don't think he has improved at all. I think he's just still the same quarterback who is electric. He is very athletic. He can be accurate, but he doesn't have that game sense of the elite quarterbacks.
No, I agree. Dave, what do you think?
I think that Deshaun Watson is Patrick Mahomes in a regard where he doesn't have Andy Reid. He doesn't have the receivers anymore. He doesn't have the support system that Mahomes has. And I'm piggybacking off people that, I've heard talking about this, but I've done my own research and I've seen the stats between the two of them. I actually looked and seen their stats are very eerily similar in a regard where, they throw as many touchdowns, pass yards, completion percentage, passer rating, everything is the same. But what's the difference? Mahomes has a Super Bowl ring, and Deshaun Watson has Bill O'Brien.
I guess I really...
I hate to say that. I feel like I'm talking like Rex Ryan right now, being just a dick. But it's like, no, like, I'm the support system, man. Deshaun Watson is Patrick Mahomes without the support system. He ain't got no Travis Kelce. He used to have D-Hop. He ain't got it anymore because Bill O'Brien fucked that up.
I guess I haven't even thought about it that way. And that now that you say it, like, I can jump on that. I can say, like, yeah, that makes sense. Because I really did see the stat line he saw. That, like, Deshaun and fucking Pat have, like, almost the same stats throughout their seasons. They really do.
Barring the 5,000-yard, 50-touchdown season.
Yeah, but that goes back
to... Since they came in the league.
That goes back to what he said. It goes back to, like, what the fuck does Deshaun Watson have around him?
He doesn't. He had D-Hop, and he has Bill O'Brien.
And we can get to what fucking D-Hop did without Deshaun this week.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that later.
That's kind of what he's working with. So that kind of wraps up Chiefs-Texans. That was the first game of the year. Felt nice to have football back. Like, the nice Thursday night game, it was, like, football's back.
No, I think it reaffirmed the Chiefs are the champs, and they're to be reckoned with.
No, Ed and I are both on record thinking the Chiefs are going to repeat.
Yeah,
Chiefs,
and I'm with you. Chiefs are a force to be reckoned with. That's crazy.
So, yeah, Thursday night happened, and you were like, okay, yeah, football. But then Sunday fucking happened.
What an amazing Sunday of football. I think we're all just grateful to the gods, right?
And so we had our early morning games, which I guess, we had some shit going on.
We had some good games.
Some shit going on. Just for everyone out there who already knows Ed and I's history, like, Seahawks played at the 10 a.m. slot, Raiders played at 10 a.m. slot. So Ed and I did not watch football together for the 10 a.m. slot. Okay, I was watching Raiders, and I was watching Seahawks, and what do you want to start with? Actually, I think Dave has some takes about Russell Wilson. Seahawks won that game.
I said, I was traveling, up the Pacific Northwest to come see these guys. So I didn't get to watch any Sunday football, but I was watching some NFL prime time and just kind of watching stats and highlights of Russell Wilson. I said Russell Wilson because there's only one human being like that, and I think he's going to be the MVP of the league this year. He very underappreciated. I just seen what he did and was like, as much flack as Pete Carroll took in that Super Bowl for not running Marshawn Lynch and putting the ball into Russell Wilson's hands, he did the right thing. Because Russell Wilson is the future of the Seahawks. He always has been. And he's the MVP of the league. This dude is magical. He has the best deep ball throw in the league. He puts so much air under that ball, it's ridiculous. He scrambles, he makes right decisions. I mean, you got to watch this guy. You really have to watch a Seattle Seahawks game and watch the plays and just see. I mean, and you have to just go back to the body of work too, because he's underappreciated. You watch Aaron Rodgers, you watch Peyton Manning, you watch Tom Brady, you watch Ben, you watch Matt Ryan even over fucking Russell Wilson, but you got to watch Russ and see what he does.
No, and I'm gonna go ahead and continue that. Is that since I moved up to the PNW, I've watched more Seahawks games than I have in my past, and Russell Wilson really is I kind of want Ed to tell us right now about the MVP vote. The MVP votes? Go ahead.
So, I mean, we'll just going back. The Seahawks wouldn't be the team they are the last 8 years without Russell Wilson. He is absolutely... He started every single game. The longevity on this guy, the endurance on this guy, that he is a physical... he's a running quarterback. He can be very quick. And, he burst up for a 28-yard run yesterday. And so he's still doing this in year 9. And has 0 MVP votes.
0.
How has his offensive line been too, Ed? Because I mean, you're a Seahawks fan.
It's been
not very good, right?
It's been a turnstile. They just let anybody through.
And the thing has he ever blamed anybody but himself?
I've never heard that guy fucking call anybody out.
No.
And I'll leave it there because we really do we have week 1 to cover. So
Let's go.
we said we all agree Russell Wilson disrespected. Underappreciated.
MVP, I think, of this season.
He could be any season. So we had a lot of games in week 1 that were fucking in that 10 o'clock slot that were great.
Yeah,
okay, the
Seahawks beat the Falcons 38-25. The Falcons got some garbage time points, whatever. Ryan threw for 450 yards in garbage time. Yeah, whatever. They still lost. Nobody cares. Moving on, the Raiders.
The Raiders, okay.
Had quite a game themselves.
They really did. Okay, so I saw a lot of fucking memes that during that game that was who cares about this game? That game had 8 lead changes. That was an amazing game. And Theodore Bridgewater.
There you go.
Is no joke. Okay, that dude still has it. Okay, everyone gave up on him when he had to go to the backup position after he fucking shredded his fucking leg. Okay, so he's still a talent to reckon with. But let me tell you who no one fucking in his second year is giving respect to is Josh Jacobs.
Don't say nobody's giving respect to him.
I am though.
Nobody's giving. If you watch football, if you are an NFL follower,
Ed, you watch football. Dave watches football. My boys, I'll shout out to Tony. They watch football, but media, not high on Josh Jacobs.
Okay, look,
not high on the Raiders at all.
But
Really.
No,
but nobody needs to look. Okay, but I guess if we're gonna be real, he's not in the top 5 of running backs.
he will be after the season.
Okay. Well, let's watch the season first. But right now, he's not in the top 5 running backs.
Well, the biggest thing that struck out.
I understand the Raiders fans right now. He looks good. He had the best rated rookie running back season last year, and he is just continuing that right now. He looked amazing on that game. But just continuing, we need to see more. But the Raiders offense, I've told you.
Yeah, Raiders offense, problems this year.
The best it's looked in 20 years.
You're right. And you said that. And they look good. And I'm not worried about that fucking offense. That defense sucks. We won the game. We're 1-0. But you could ask my wife how crazy I was during that fucking game because of the defense, bro. I told her, I was like, and this is a tribute to the game, is I was like, if this game comes down to our defense, we're going to lose. And then it really did come down to our defense. And we fucking stopped Carolina on 4th and inches and fucking won it. And I don't know what to say about it. Shouldn't have happened. I don't get it.
Well, let's move on to other teams because we have not much time. But the last thing I'll say about that game is there was a lot of other games with a lot of great teams that made the playoffs last year and even in the Super Bowl that scored 17, 20 points. Couldn't muster any offense. A lot of teams that should have scored way more points than the Raiders and Panthers did and didn't. And all I'm saying to that is we can look at stats and all that analysis, but I wouldn't overlook the Panthers, first of all.
No.
I wouldn't overlook them.
No.
Their defense has a lot to be
Theodore Bridgewater.
desired, but like Bridgewater, like Christopher said, is no chump, and McCaffrey's a stud.
Oh,
and
yeah.
It was 34-30. What was the Niners Cardinals game? It was 2017. What was other games?
24-20.
Right, exactly.
But,
so like,
okay.
I'm just saying, like, let's not like just discount the Raider Panthers game just because you think those teams are bad. Let's go to week 1 and everyone treat each other equal because that's what it is.
I don't know if I'm not discounting the teams. Both the teams' offenses can make shit work, but both of those teams' defenses. That's why the score was 34-30. Okay, if we're gonna be real. That's why it was 34-30.
Yes, the defenses both sucked. But like you said, let's talk about Arizona and fucking San Francisco.
Right? How surprising was that?
I know we put that game on, and we were just like, what the fuck? Like, San Francisco made bad decisions in that fourth quarter.
They really did.
I just think they're trying to be too clever.
I think so.
Right, and it's like, dude, like, why don't you just do to the Cardinals what you know you can do? Punish them on the ground, give it a Mozart, or, like, punish them on the run game, and then throw it down to Kittle. What are you doing? Like, it's like, I know, you can't stop Kyler, but you can do something on offense, though. You can score more than 17 points.
Right, they have Kingsbury, who did not do well last year in the Super Bowl. And
are you
talking about Shanahan?
Excuse me, Shanahan. That's right. I was thinking Kingsbury. But Shanahan, he Shanahan himself this game again.
He really did.
He did.
He
did
a
real Shanahan.
No, if we're going to talk about Shanahaning yourself, let's talk about fucking Mike McCarthy. Okay?
Let's get
going for it for 4th and 3. Okay, it's reasonable.
It's not...
On the 11 in the red zone to tie the game, kick a field goal, tie the game, maybe go to overtime, and then you don't get it. And then you lose 17-20.
The thing is, like, it's like, okay, obviously I think having, hindsight 2020, like, we're all going to kick that field goal, right? But, like, if you already went past that point where you're like, I'm just a bad, savage son of a bitch coach, and I'm going to go for this on 4 and 3 just to smack this other team in the face, you're going to call a better play than a little 5-yard slant route that the dude didn't even run the right route. He ran a 3-yard slant route. Like, come on, man. Like, you got to run the right route, and you got to at least achieve the first down on the catch. Like, you got to call better play. I thought Jason Garrett got fired, right?
You're right.
Shit.
That was funny you said that because, like, I was watching the game, and I was like, what a great call by Jason Garrett. Oh, no, it's Mike McCarthy. But like it seemed like a fucking Jason Garrett call.
That is a very Jason Garrett call. So, I mean, that is what happened. The Cowboys really... I think the Cowboys Shanahan themselves, too.
A lot of Shanahaning happening this
Shanahan
weekend.
happening. But, I mean, that's really, like, we haven't even touched on the big move. The big move that everybody was kind of saying what's going to happen. Tom Brady to the Bucs.
Okay, so...
Did we expect that they would just get blown out?
I actually don't think they were blown out. I think that if you look at Tom Brady's stats in that game... He had, 2 picks? One was a pick 6?
2 touchdowns, 2 picks.
Yeah.
He was 23 for 36, 239 yards.
No, definitely the 2 picks he threw were his fault. But also, like, he didn't have a bad game.
Picks were his fault because you got to read the coverage, right?
No, that's what I'm saying. Those picks were his fault.
And it's crazy because I've seen different opinions on the play, and I've never played professional football. Right, but like I watch play over 10 times now. I try to analyze the play a little bit, and I'm like, I see Mike Evans. He kind of sees like that there's gonna be double coverage, and he kind of cuts right.
Yeah, he doesn't fucking finish the route.
And Tom just throws it over him, thinking he's gonna keep running it, and it's like I don't know whose fault it is, but look at Tom's.
No, it's Tom's.
Either way, I mean he had an average game. Honestly, I mean he threw for 64%, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. But
it's not bad.
The 2 picks is what lost the game.
But Ed, why is Bruce Arians calling that when he's on the left hash?
Why is he
he's
calling
a slant or whatever? It's not a slant, but he's throwing it out to the wing.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was a terrible pass.
The opposite half.
He's 40 years old. Why are you making him throw that pass? Like, come on, dude, throw that. like Rex Bryan said earlier, throw that play out the book, dude. Like, let's get out of here. Like Tom Brady's 43.
For him, yeah, don't
throw slants, man. Like, come on, dude.
No, I really. And I go back to what I said. Is that like, yes, the picks were his fault, but outside of those, like, he didn't throw a bad game, and Drew Brees didn't do great either.
That's why I'm not worried about that.
The Saints look vulnerable right now.
Well, they both kind of looked. I mean, I think everybody didn't look good. Like in week 1, there's no training camp, there's no preseason, but like the people that are older didn't look good. Like Phillip and Drew and Tom.
Yeah, fucking Phillip. I mean, we can go talk about how Gardner Minshew the third, who's actually a third.
What game stuck out to you, Ed? Like,
Gardner Minshew
what game were you like this team? Like a terrible team that you thought was be terrible was like, or Christopher, like what team stuck out to you was like, man, this team, could do something that never did anything.
For me, I guess it's not even a team that I think is going to do anything, but it was the Washington football team beating the Eagles.
Oh,
that
right, because it was 17-0.
What a great game, right?
And like, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this right from the get before we go into this conversation. Is that I have a lot of buddies that are Eagle fans, and this is not personal, but we're gonna fucking talk about it. Okay, we're gonna fucking talk about it. Okay, because they're up 17-0, and then they get 24 points.
Right?
Like they just get fucking. What the fuck happened?
By the Washington football team.
No, I know, because my boy was like, yo, like, after the fact, Eagle fan, he texted me, he was like, yeah, dog, like, you got beat by the Washington football team. Like, how do you feel getting beat by the team with no name? Like, that's what he fucking said. And that's what happened. Like, I give a lot of credit to Ron Rivera.
He's a great coach.
You thought he was falsely fired?
From Carolina? Yes!
100%?
Yes!
100%.
I think we said that.
I think we can all agree. I think you guys did talk about that in your podcast earlier.
100%.
I would agree with you guys.
Rivera has been great in that division.
And I think the fact that God bless his soul, and hopefully he has a good recovery and that he heals from his cancer, but like, the players know, right? And they're like, fuck that.
They're like, we're doing it for this man. We're doing it for this.
Yeah, we're throwing our souls into the game.
Because he fucking took an IV at halftime. Like,
to be there.
And like, so Dwayne Haskins came up, and so here's the thing: is that like, that game's wild. There's probably a lot of games we didn't talk about. Before I go into a hot route, which needs to happen real soon, I want to ask you both: did you guys see how the Lions lost yesterday?
Yeah. I did. It was a Mitch comeback, which is very unlikely.
But like, was it a Mitch comeback? Like, yeah,
it was a Lions fuck.
But could it have been like
how it goes down in the record books is a Mitch comeback.
Yes.
Okay? What actually happened is that receiver dropped that pass and probably has death threats.
Bro, no, legit. If no one saw the play that happened, it's like Matt Stafford found a receiver like in the end zone. It was a rookie receiver.
Swift?
Yeah,
Swift.
Yeah, Swift. Yes.
I didn't start him for a reason. In my fantasy league, I started Zach Moss instead.
Yeah. So he fucking found him in the end zone, and I guess there was guys around him, but like the pass got right to his hands.
It hit him in the hands.
Hit him in both hands with like
he did a rookie mistake.
No
right?
hands
I saw
in.
the play.
Like he just like dropped it.
It was a bad drop.
It hit him in the hands.
I think the pressure was on him. He's like, this is too good to be true.
Yeah. And like he dropped it. And then that was essentially the game because like they still had like fourth down after that, and like it didn't work out. But like shout out to my boy, Nick Sear. Big Lion fan, loyal as fuck. I love loyalty. I love it. He's from, Michigan.
Michigan guy?
Michigan guy.
Michigan dudes.
So, like, I feel bad for him. I texted him yesterday.
Some good dudes.
I saw that fucking play, and I reached out. Obviously, he was very hurt, because I didn't really hear back from him. He was very upset. So, like, that sucked. So yeah, we probably missed a couple games, but, like, it's far.
One last thing I'm going to say before the hot route. Yeah. Sorry to cut you off, brother.
Yeah, you're good.
Is, there's still one bad bad man in the NFC North. He's still a bad man, and his name is Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, let's not.
Yeah, can you chill out?
Let's not.
No,
get,
he's not that bad.
He's not that bad.
He threw 4 touchdowns. He's pretty bad.
No, but he
not
also.
That bad.
But
he's pretty bad.
Okay, look, but he.
Y'all slept on him, and I think.
I don't think I sleep on him. I just think I'm a fucking.
Okay, look.
Just don't think
I think y'all thought he wasn't bad anymore, and he showed y'all he was throwing touchdowns.
I actually never thought he was bad.
Throwing touchdowns with Devontae standing there. He's just standing there throwing touchdowns.
He's just not a champion.
He owns Minnesota.
Aaron Rodgers not a champ.
I mean, he's won a Super Bowl ring, but also it wasn't because of him.
He
it's
owns
his cousin sucks.
Okay,
Is that what
look.
you're saying?
Look,
Let's talk about this. One last thing, because Aaron Rodgers is a bad man still. He showed it.
He's not a bad man.
Why are you guys disrespecting it?
Okay, look, Aaron Rodgers.
Wait. Besides the Super Bowl, what else has he been doing? I'm sorry, Ed. I'm really sorry. I'm very upset. I don't think he's a bad man.
You don't think so?
No.
Man, we're gonna have to talk after this podcast. We're gonna do hot routes, but we'll talk later.
No, Ed, I want you to jump in.
Aaron Rodgers owns Minnesota. That has happened for the last 15 years, however long he's been in the league. Aaron Rodgers owns Minnesota. This is a known fact. Like Game of Thrones, it is known. Okay, he is just gonna beat Minnesota. It's just an easy thing. Okay, Minnesota's defense is not what it was 2-3 years ago. They've gotten rid of a lot of those pieces, and they've just kind of fallen apart. So it just makes it easy for Aaron Rodgers. All right, and last year, Aaron Rodgers had the easiest schedule in the world, okay? They went 13-3, and they were playing scrubs the entire time. So he's not going to... Well, of course, it's hard to repeat 13-3. It just is. But still, I don't think they're getting 10 wins this season.
Yeah.
They might win with 9-7. They might win the division with 9-7.
He only has that fucking reputation because
12-4.
Because he's a Packer. That's it. If he was a quarterback for the fucking Titans, he wouldn't be as great as he was. He's a Packer.
And I'll attest it. I'm sure you can attest to this. I'm rooting for him.
You have a
the
soft
Raiders
spot
don't
for
make
the
the
Packers,
playoffs,
as I do.
We're gonna root for Aaron Rodgers.
Soft spot for the Packers.
He's still a bad man. I'll say that.
He's not a bad man.
He's a bad man.
Whatever.
Hot route.
Hot route time.
It's exciting.
Time for hot routes. Okay? I got a few.
What do we got here?
Alright. I got just one question from the NBA, since we talked about this tonight.
Sure.
And then we'll go into NFL. Okay. So, of the two teams that could be in the finals from the East, who has the best chance to take home the title? Heat or Celtics? Whether it be against the Nuggets, Lakers, or Clippers?
Celtics.
Celtics.
So the Heat are riding a wave right now.
They're on a hot streak.
They're riding a wave right now. They're riding the wave that Portland was riding into the playoffs.
Into the bubble. Yeah,
Okay.
out of the bubble, yeah.
So they may be able to keep it going. They may not be able to keep it going. If they can continue to ride this wave, this heat, of course they're going to win the Eastern Conference Finals and then the Finals. But if we're just looking at the teams in a vacuum, the Celtics win that series every time, every single time. But the Heat are on fire right now, so it's hard to say. But I'm saying the Celtics because it's hard to keep Heat going
All the way.
all the way. It really is. I mean, you see a lot of these teams going and making these nice runs, but not quite finishing because they don't have the core. They don't have the core, and the Celtics do.
Okay, Dave?
I love what Ed said. I agree. I love that Celtics team. I think they're amazing. I love Jason Tatum. Very upset with our GM. I'm not going to say his name because he ain't no Jerry West. He didn't draft Tatum. He drafted Ball, right? So, but we're going to go... I'm going to go opposite Ed. I'm going to go with the Miami Heat in 6. My thing with the Miami Heat is I think Jimmy Butler's a straight savage. I think, like you said, they're on a heat wave, right? But that only lasts a series. They don't last 2 series. They're imposing their will on teams, and they just beat the number 1 seed. They beat Giannis. And it wasn't like it was close. It wasn't close. And it was a bad matchup, like everyone says. Or was it? But here's the thing. No Gordon Hayward. No title for the Celtics. I think Miami Heat come out, and people always sleep on Eric Spoelstra. This is a dude that won titles with the Heat. With that team that, like, dude, if you really realistically put D Wade, LeBron, and Chris Bosh together, that doesn't make sense to me. But he made it make sense. He won 2 titles with him. He knows what he's doing. He's been there for a decade. He's the longest standing coach besides Pop. He knows what he's doing. He's going to out-coach Brad Stevens. He's going to. And I just think that the physicality of the Miami Heat, they're going to impose their will. They're going to get in the psyche of the great talented, but the young Celtics, especially Kemba, because even though he ain't young, he's young in the playoffs.
Okay, all right.
And Jimmy Butler, he was never young in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler was born in the playoffs. And I just think that with Jay Crowd and all those role players, and they're going to impose their will, and they're going to win in 6. I wish it would go 7 because I think the Celtics spirit's awesome, and I love teams. I hate the Celtics. I'll repeat it again. I hate them. But I love their spirit. I love their team, but I think that he just imposed their will and bully ball them up. And Jimmy Butler comes out and goes to the finals.
Okay. All right.
In 6.
Moving on from the NBA, power number 2. Outside of Russell Wilson, who is the most important person on that Seahawk roster?
I was waiting for you because there's one answer. It's Bobby Wagner.
Why?
Because he was always on the Legion of Boom. And after Earl and Browner and everybody left. Everybody was injured or they left. He is the last remaining piece of that. And he is commanding this defense. This is not the defense that we've seen in the past. It's not
Legion of Boom.
They're not getting crazy turnovers. They're not doing anything flashy. I mean, Jamal Adams is on there now, and he looked great in that first game. We'll see how it goes the rest of the season, but it's Bobby Wagner. I mean, he led the league in tackles, I think it was 2 years ago, and the guy just doesn't miss. The guy has been on it the entire time. You don't have Bobby Wagner, you don't have the leader of your defense.
And I love everything you just said. I love Bobby Wagner. That, like you just said, he's the last remnant of the Legion of Boom, and he was the Boom. He was. No one talked about Wagner when they were all together, but he was probably you take Wagner out and they're gone. Like, who cares about Chance and all those dudes if Wagner's not there, right?
Whoa.
But now it's a new era, right? And we go in, and I disagree with you. I think Chris Carson's the most important player besides Russ. You know why? Here's why. Who's going to take the pressure off Russell Wilson? It ain't going to be the receivers. Tyler Lockett ain't no number 1 receiver. He ain't no D-Hop. He ain't no Julio. He ain't no ODB in New York. Not Cleveland. Not Cleveland. New York. You ain't got no number 1 receiver. Doug Baldwin retired, bro. So that's what I'm saying. Like, who's gonna take the pressure off Russ? Who's gonna take it off? Not Bobby Wagner.
It is Chris Carson.
It's Chris Carson, man. Because he's a stud, dude. He's bigger than any linebacker. He's huge. He stands in the pocket and he runs hard. That's why he has so many injuries already. But he's still a tough dude. He gets yards. You already saw he's a stud in fantasy. He gets touchdowns. You're gonna give it to him at the goal line. Who's gonna if no one's gonna run the ball behind that terrible O-line and take the pressure off Russ, you have no chance. That's Chris Carson easily.
I really do like what just happened right now. I like the difference in answers. Ed went defense, and yeah. I feel like Dave went the right way. Like I feel like it goes back to Russell Wilson. It goes back to like who's taking pressure off Russell Wilson? It is Chris Carson.
Okay,
but also you don't get to retort. Get it out of here. Hot route number 3.
Yeah, I'm retorting. All right, so Russell Wilson, has he had Chris Carson? Did we just lose Marshawn Lynch and then Chris Carson just picked up the slack right after that? Or did we just go through a myriad of running backs and the entire time we were doing that, we had Russell Wilson still killing it? All right, now we can go to the next one.
Oh.
How many Super Bowls y'all got since Marshawn left?
0. How many Super Bowls do you guys have?
That's irrelevant.
Okay.
That's fucking irrelevant. That's fucking irrelevant. That's so fucking irrelevant. Like that. What you just did right now was to be like, damn. Like They could be right, but also fuck them. So I'm gonna attack them personally. That's a personal attack.
We're talking about.
No, we're not.
We're talking about how the team.
Because you made a point about Marshawn Lynch.
Has
you made a point about Marshawn Lynch, like he's just as important as Chris Carson, but like no, dude, like then how many titles have they won?
What are you even saying right now?
Okay, so your argument was who is the most important? Because they had Marshawn Lynch, and they were, and when they lost him, that Russell Wilson was doing all this work, but they didn't win any fucking titles without Marshawn.
Okay,
that was my point. I'm sorry, I lost it a second. That was my thing. It was like your point was like, oh well, we just replaced Chris Carson with Marshawn, or Marshawn with Chris Carson, but like no, you didn't because no titles happened. That was.
I literally wasn't saying that. I was literally saying we lost Marshawn. We had a myriad of running backs that we had to try to find.
It really doesn't matter.
That we had to try to find.
It really doesn't matter.
And Chris Carson came in. Fucking listen.
No, I am listening. I still feel like it's a personal attack. Like you didn't.
No, I don't.
You didn't have to bring the Raiders into it. You didn't have to bring. You didn't have to do that.
It's just those two things don't correlate. So I was like, oh, we're talking about titles.
Oh no! They correlate.
They don't correlate.
They correlate. They do.
I didn't care about. I really wanted to know. Like I was like, I didn't care about the personal attack. That was funny to me.
Well, you're talking about who's important on the team, and then you're talking about titles. Like what? How?
No.
Well,
this was my point. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
You're jumping.
I didn't want you to get mad. This was my thing.
I'm jumping.
No, you are jumping.
I didn't want
also,
you to get
you, Dave, guest. You're a guest. I appreciate you, but shut the fuck up. We have to go to round 3, okay? But also, fuck you, Ed, and
I didn't want to get mad.
Fuck you, Ed. Okay, so hot round 3. Shut up, Dave. Shut up. Shut up. Hot round 3. What was the most surprising? Also, shut the fuck up, Ed. What was the most surprising victory of Week 1?
I mean, the most surprising victory?
Yes.
I mean, Washington football team beating the Eagles was, like, surprising. I don't know if that was the most surprising, but I don't think, like...
anyone expected it.
I don't think we had any crazy upsets. I don't think it was like Tom Brady was expected to come out and beat the Saints. I don't think that was anything that was expected. I think everything kind of went according to plan. Except, like, the Bengals and Chargers, like, that's a toss-up. Like, who could you say right out of the gate is going to win that one? Like, I can't think of any one specific game that's just like, oh yeah, that was actually surprising.
That's why it's a hard question. Dave?
It's crazy because I made a point for Aaron Rodgers being a bad man, but like that was honestly, to me, the upset of the week was Minnesota getting their ass kicked at home by the Packers. It was like, hey, look, I understand that, like, in my mind, I didn't think Aaron Rodgers was done, and I knew they were going to put up a fight, but I was like, you're in Minnesota, you're at home, you just signed Dalvin Cook to a huge contract, you're going to feed him the ball. Kirk Cousins is an able and willing quarterback. We've seen him throw deep. We obviously know his record against good teams. But
or prime time games.
Like, you have Dalvin Cook, you have Adam Thielen, obviously you lost Diggs, but you still have Thielen, you have Rudolph, like, your defense isn't terrible. Like, you're at home, man. Like, you take care of business in week 1, and I just felt like that was a bit... It wasn't like it was close. Like, if it would have been, like, 41-38 or, like, 45-41 or something, I get it. Like, you lost in a valley. You got your ass kicked by the Packers at home.
Well, and that's the thing.
They did get beat.
The final score shows 43-34, but that does not explain the actual game.
No.
They went into the fourth quarter down 43-10.
But at home...
They were getting destroyed.
At home, with the team you have, the Vikings have a better team than the Packers. I'm going to say it. They have a better roster than the Packers do. On defense and offense, they have a better all-around roster. And they're at home in the purple. Like, you got to win that game. And no one knows about anything about anybody. Like, there's no training camp. There's no preseason. Like, there's no studying. Like, you're at home. Like,
they should be talented.
Take care of business. Give it to Dalvin Cook. Feed his ass. Throw it deep to Thielen. Like, take care of business. Rush Aaron Rodgers on defense. Like, they didn't even put any pressure on him. He had so much time to throw in the pocket. I don't know. That was my biggest upset. I guess the Vikings aren't as good as we thought they were.
They are who we thought they were.
They aren't who we thought they were.
I don't want people to think that we forgot about the games on Monday, right? Like I didn't see. I saw the Steelers coming out and winning. Ben's back. We can say that Ben's back. Titans, playing a great game, but they were playing the Broncos, so we can't say too much about that.
I said they got a great coach. I think Mike Vrabel's.
I do like Mike Vrabel. That's
one thing I'll say about the team is I believe in Vrabel.
I like Mike Vrabel.
I love the run.
So the Monday night games, they actually weren't that exciting.
They weren't that exciting. We all expected Pittsburgh to win, and we all expected Tennessee. Take
care of business, yeah.
Yeah, to just
take care of business. They're not the right phrase.
They're not the guys who are going to go out and just stomp on somebody, but they're expected to beat the Broncos because it's the Broncos.
It's the Broncos.
They're trying to figure it out still.
Right, they lost Vaughn. Yeah. Right, they lost like their left tackle. They're crippled.
They lost a decent amount of their key players, and it really hinders them. So they have to figure some things out.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to adjust, though, right?
So here we are, like, just very excited that football is back.
Very excited. Thank God for football.
And wild that NBA playoffs is happening at the same time.
What are we, like an hour and a half in? Or?
I feel like week 1 should go an hour and a half if it did. But we enjoy it. We enjoy football being back, and I feel like it's a whammy with NBA still happening. So this is a great time. I want to thank Dave for being on the podcast for the sports episode. I feel like he sounded pretty knowledgeable. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, I knew what he was talking about.
I liked it. Yeah. That's the biggest thing. I like having opposing takes. I like having. I feel
like we'd argue a lot.
If we have 2 people in here, we can agree and disagree on some things. But if we bring another person in, we're able to actually get some other takes, and we can compare and contrast and actually, hit some heads, get some knowledge together. And I like that. I enjoy that. It's really nice. But this is the last episode for right now that's going to be released on Tuesdays for sports.
Yes. So just so everyone knows is listening, because of football season, we're gonna accommodate that. So episodes will start to be released on Wednesdays and Fridays. So Wednesdays will be your sports episodes, and Fridays will be your entertainment ones. So adjust for that.
Yeah.
And I'm Chris.
I'm Ed.
And this has been Almost Agreeable. Thank you for listening to another episode of Almost Agreeable. You can catch all new episodes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. If you enjoyed the podcast, please like, rate, and subscribe. And don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at Almost Agreeable.